Diary. It's Thanksgiving, and that means one thing: Easton versus Peaburg. It's really cool how the seniors guard our bonfire. And the pep rally, well, we really get fired up.
Dear Diary, today ESPN will televise our war with Easton. My classmates and I will cheer our hearts out to help our guys win the game of their lives.
It was Dickens that wrote of a tale of two cities, and on this day we'll focus on a classic tale of Easton, Pennsylvania and Phillipsburg, New Jersey. It begins on Tuesday night with the Easton seniors guarding their bonfire. They'll guard it all through that night. Hours later, Wednesday comes and both schools gather for their pep rallies. Think back. Remember the pep band? The seniors being introduced? Your favorite cheerleader? And how about the normally quiet teacher that suddenly breaks out of his shell to fire you up for the big game? Across the river in Phillipsburg, more graffiti on top of graffiti. The fans and the veteran varsity players that suddenly have no inhibitions this day. Oh yeah, there's one more bonfire to be sure. Thousands will attend, millions will watch high school football on Thanksgiving, a slice of Americana, the 83rd meeting of Phillipsburg and Easton. It is now 10:02 a.m. Thursday, and we're on the state line of New Jersey and Pennsylvania, where today the Easton Red Rovers and the Phillipsburg State Liners will renew an old rivalry here at Fisher Field in Easton, Pennsylvania. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and welcome to high school football on ESPN. I am Tim Brando, joined by Stan White. There is something very special, and I want to ask you to go back in time now, Stan, to that great high school rivalry you had.
We all had our rivals, Tim. I played in Kent, Ohio, and ours was the Ravenna Ravens. In the game I remember, we were both undefeated next to the last game of the season, and their big star was Don Nottingham, the human bowling ball, and I remember that we won the football game.
We're coming off Showdown Saturday in college football, a number of great rivalries last week, and there really is a difference, though, at the high school level.
Well, you remember the high school level. You remember the Ohio State Michigans, of course. In pro ball, I remember the Colts and Dolphins of the 70s. But none are more vivid than the big high school game, because that's back home where everyone remembers.
Unlike the college players, though, Stan, many of these youngsters, the seniors, are playing their last organized game ever.
And that's why it's so important. They will always remember it. It will be replayed, though, Tim, in the shops and the stores and the bars of Easton and Phillipsburg. And this one in the VCRs forever.
That's right. Now, there are a couple of players that do have college careers in front of them, and we start with an outstanding running back, Jeff Staten.
And just a junior for Easton, Jeff Staten, 1,300 yards rushing. We'll see him carrying the ball a lot today. And for Phillipsburg, Scott Vaughn, 6'6", 278 pounds. He's a senior, and he's being recruited by everyone.
There is one man, Stan, that knows a great deal about this rivalry, and he is going to join Kerry Ross, who is going to be working the sidelines for us today. Kerry?
Thank you very much, Tim. I'm on the sidelines with the voice of high school sports in the Lehigh Valley, Dick Hammer, and he's got a pretty tough job today. He broadcasts both of the team's games, and he's going to play it right down the middle, literally.
Literally, we try and be impartial because we do both games. We got this from the Garnett Booster Club a couple of years ago, and this is our game day attire.
Who better than you, Dick, to give us a perspective on what's going to happen today? How do these teams match up, and who do you think is going to win?
Well, the Rovers have an advantage in the ground game. They have good speed. Phillipsburg has a great defense. Easton has a good defense, and I think it's going to come down to that traditional hard-hitting defensive football game, and I think Easton's going to win by a touchdown.
Okay, you heard it here. Dick Hammer going out on a limb and saying Easton's going to win. Tim?
All right, Kerry, thank you very much, and we look forward to bringing you this game. Today's Thanksgiving Day High School Football Special is being brought to you by your local Yamaha dealers and Snow Scoop, Yamaha's newest snow vehicle, by Aquavelva. There's something about today's Aquavelva man. And by Acclaim Entertainment, makers of NFL VCR Quarterback and the best in VCR sports games. We'll be back with the opening kick and the lineups in just a moment.
Bruce Heitzman, senior defensive tackle.
Jim Badway, senior defensive tackle.
Brian Smith, senior outside linebacker.
Number 80, Todd Wynn, senior outside linebacker.
Steve Mamano, junior linebacker. Brian Hunt, senior linebacker. Brooke Melman, senior cornerback. Dave Vancho, senior defensive back. Chris Emery, senior free safety.
Jess Dayton, junior strong safety.
Bob SHRIVER, head coach, Easton High, 1967.
Dave Osmond, center, senior.
Blair Townsend, junior right guard.
Terry Morani, junior left guard.
Scott Vaughn, senior right tackle.
Will Spencer, junior left tackle.
Greg Troxel, junior tight end.
Mike Purcell, senior split end.
Lou Moser, senior wingback.
Laramie Furman, sophomore tailback.
Kevin Kane, senior fullback. Rich Price, senior quarterback.
Tom Dominic, head coach, Phillipsburg High School, class of 1963.
That certainly brought back some memories, Stan White. That's the way they used to do it in college football.
Yeah, back to the early days of college football when we used to have to go out. That was the hard part of the game, was to get your name right.
It is a very special time, as you could tell, and as you saw Coach Dominic there, along with the East Penn standings we're going to show you now. All those coaches are obviously a part of this series as well. Bethlehem Catholic beat both of these teams.
The captains for the
both teams
Easton
have lost
Red
2
River
games this year. As you look at those standings, Phillipsburg out of New Jersey playing in the East Penn Football Conference, and that's a subject that we'll be bringing up a bit later throughout this show, just to give you an idea of how important this game is. Coach SHRIVER and Coach Dominic of both teams obviously very enthused about this rivalry because they were very much a part of that rivalry back in the 60s.
Well, that's what makes high school rivalries so much fun. Everybody's been a part of them. Everybody's either played there, their friend has played there, their relative has played there, and it's the dividing line. The river between the states, between these two cities, divides more than just states. It divides these schools and the loyalties that go with them.
There you see the track captains and the quad captains preparing for the toss of the coin, which we're going to eavesdrop on now. We'll catch a little of the intensity of this rivalry right here.
Visitors from Easton, please shake hands. Okay, Mr. Cappy, the anchor, the umpire is going to read the coin. Who's going to call the coin to the white team? You will. Will you take a look at it? That's a head, and that's a tail, okay? Call it in the air. If I drop it, I'll pick it up and do it all over again. Don't make your decision until I give you your options, okay? Heads. Heads he called. It is heads. You can kick, receive, defend a goal, or defer.
Receive.
you'll receive, okay? Carl, goal will you defend? You'll defend, so you're going to be kicking that way. Will you please put your back here, please? Thank you. Okay. White has won the toss. Elected to receive. Phillipsburg will kick that way. Let's go, gentlemen. Have a good ball game.
A crowd of 18,000 plus here on the campus of Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania for today's game. The first meeting way back in 1905. Easton leads this series, but it has been a very evenly matched series the last decade. And of course, last year, Easton, slightly favored in some people's minds, lost the game to Phillipsburg by a final score of 19-10.
Yeah, this game is going to match up a speed team against a size team, power football against option football. It should be an interesting football game, as well as a chance just to relive everybody's memories from their days of high school, their rivalries, and Thanksgiving Day. I mean, what better way to start the day than to watch a high school football game? And of course, there's head coach Robert Shriver. Bob Shriver played at Easton. Of course, you remember he told us about his first game. And then Tom Dominic also was reliving his days as a player at Phillipsburg. So it tells you that, you know, both these guys say they never want to leave here.
That's
I
right.
mean, they want to stay here and coach this team. They love the area. They love the schools, and they love the rivalry. And they're not going to give it up. They don't have any ambitions going on to college.
You're looking at sophomore Mike Stocker, who is getting his first kickoff of the year because Steve Turner was injured. And back deep for Jeff Staten. He's the deepest. Brooke Melman and Lenny Mathis. The cheerleaders are ready, the fans are, and so are we here on ESPN. Happy Thanksgiving. We look forward to an outstanding high school football game. Short kick, and it's taken right up the middle by number 85, Dan Avancho, one of the up men. Beyond the 30 to the 34-yard line, a 21-yard return. First down and 10, and that's where the Red Rovers will set up shop offensively. Marion Worthy will be the quarterback, number 26, a junior, just 5'7", 150 pounds, runs a 4.7 40, has outstanding speed. He has split backs behind him. They go with a little misdirection maneuver there with the wingback. Scott Vaughn made the stop as Brian Smith carried the ball beyond the 35 to the 36-yard line. Offensively, Brian Hunt and Michael Cole. Bruce Hotzman will be the center. Jeff Ruth is the right guard, and James Badway is the left tackle. Dean Tomeno is the tight end, the quarterback Worthy, with Staten, Smith, Brown, and Emery in the backfield. Second down, 8 yards to go. And there's Staten, and he will carry the ball a lot this afternoon up to the 39-yard line. Brett Troxel made the stop.
One thing we're going to watch today is that Easton loves to run the option. Of course, they have a option offense. Phillipsburg's taken out of that option last year. We'll see if they can get back to it this year.
Defensively, Phillipsburg with Rob Ettinger at one end, Greg Troxel the other, Vaughn, Kopak, and Wildrick. Watch Scott Vaughn. He's the youngster everyone's recruiting. Mike Purcell is the cornerback, Lou Moser the other, and we'll set the rest of them for you in just a moment. Third down and 5. Little play fake. Worthy rolling the opposite way. Looking for Tomeno. Incomplete at the 40-yard line. Knocked away by Lou Moser, the cornerback for Phillipsburg.
Well, Dean Tomeno is their biggest receiver. Only 15 catches on the year. They are a running football team. When they put the ball in the air, they want to go to Tomeno.
4th down and 7 at the Easton.
It's a punt formation now for Easton.
Deep man number 85.
Staten will handle those duties. Lou Moser dropping back. Worthy will punt the ball away rather than Staten this time. They'll both share the duties, and Moser's back deep. And we have markers down.
Somebody in the offensive line moved to high school. As soon as there's movement, they step it back 5 more yards.
How many times do you see that, though, Stan? Worthy and Staten handle the punting and the kicking. They really are the two best athletes on this team that Easton has.
And that's really what's fun about high school. Not only do they handle all these chores.
At the Easton 34.
So 4th down.
But they're stars in other sports. Staten, the best basketball player in the school. So football, I mean, in high school, you get to play all the sports and be the star in them all.
Worthy should get this one away from the 25. Has a bad snap, and look at him make the most of it. That turned into a great fake, and that's one of the reasons you have a player like Worthy. Just as we told you a few moments ago, he's a fantastic athlete. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
And that's why you have your best athletes doing these chores. There's a low snap. You see it bounces to him. Now, he might have gotten off, but he fumbled it a second time. So he decides, hey, I'm going to run it. If you could, the blocking was all turned. The wall was set up on the other side of the field for the return. There's nobody over there. He goes down and breaks one tackle and goes down the sideline, almost breaks it all the way. The last man got him out of bounds.
Ryan Karp knocked him out of bounds after a 37-yard run. And Staten now carries the ball inside the 25 to the 22. Mike Purcell, the right cornerback, 5'8", 160-pound senior, made the stop. Bob SHRIVER now giving the play to Jim Brown, who'll come in the game at one of those wingback spots. He's a European history teacher, and we have an advanced math teacher on the other side. These men are coaches, but they're also teachers, and they love that part of their employment as well at these high schools. 2nd down, 5 yards to go. That's Brian Smith, the fullback. Cracked out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Greg Troxell, the right tackle, made the stop. The junior, 225-pounder.
Football, there's one thing about football, all that big plays win football games. We've just seen the first big play of this football game with Marlon Worthy taking that bad snap and turning it into a 1st down, big yardage for Easton. Now we'll see if they can capitalize on that.
3rd down and 2. Patsula's the slot back in motion now. And the pitch to Staten. Weaving his way inside the 20 to the 19. It will be very close to the 1st down. Bob SHRIVER looks on. Kevin KANE, the linebacker, will also be the fullback on the offensive side for the Stateliners. Made the stop.
It's going to be very close, Tim, but I think you see them go for it in 4th down if they don't make it. Now, Worthy is also the place kicker, but the range is not as much as you would see in college or in pro ball. You see Jeff Staten, watch his inside move. That's the cut. That's what separates him from other high school backs and is going to make him a college star. That ability when there's no yardage to make that quick cut to get through the first tackler and get into the secondary.
He did get the 1st down just inside the 19-yard line. 1st down, and Brown again in the slot. This time Worthy is stopped behind the line. Cutting through Kevin KANE again, the linebacker.
Phillipsburg says they don't like to blitz much. They pick their times. Well, they picked a good time to shoot Kevin KANE through the gap, and he catches Marlon Worthy. Again, another aspect of his ability to be a running back and a quarterback. He had an extra blocker. Instead of just pitching it to the tailback, let him run. You let the tailback block. You get an extra man in front of Worthy, but they forgot to block the linebacker.
2nd down, 13. Back at the 22. Staten in motion, and now Worthy will look for him in the air. Incomplete. Osmond, the linebacker, came over quickly. The 5'11", 205-pound senior Dave Osmond, a tri-captain, earned 6 letters. Did Osmond in both football and baseball. As you look at Worthy, who to this point has the biggest play of the game.
Again, though, just like any level, you got to be able to capitalize on your breaks. It's a big break to get the bad snap turned into big yardage, but now they have to make some points out of it. That's been their problem in the games they've lost.
There's Osmond also in the wrestling team, which also does very well at P-Bird. Brian Smith now goes in motion, and the pitch the opposite way to Staten. Down to the original line of scrimmage, and that's it. A host of Stateliners there to bring him down. Ettinger was 161, the left defensive end, the senior. Along with Bob Orth, the strong safety.
Just like at any level, when you see the star and he's the remaining back, when they leave one back in the backfield, you can count on it. He's going to run the football. If he motions out and leaves somebody else back there, most likely they're going to pass the ball, which is what they did the 2 previous plays.
4th down and 10. Patsula now is wide to the bottom of your screen. And that's Smith in motion. Worthy looking for Tomeno in the end zone. Caught, touchdown. Just the way you draw it up. Bob Shriver says that's what I wanted on 4th down.
Well, just like on the 3rd down previous play, Tomeno's their big receiver. Really, he was well covered. He just went up and took the ball. It was thrown right between Mike Purcell and Bob Orth. But Tomeno went up and took the football away for the touchdown.
At 73 yards, 11 plays.
Well, a tremendous drive to start the game, and of course aided by that faked punt off the muffed snap by Marlon Worthy, who will now try for the extra point. Patsula to hold. That's 23 of 28 in extra points for Marlon Worthy. A 4th down play, turn, touchdown, and Easton leads by 7. Worthy very rarely drops back, but he did this time and made it count, Stan.
Well, it's a half drop, a little roll, protection by Jeff Staten, but he throws the ball up for Tomeno, his main receiver. Now watch, there's 2 defenders here. One of them in good position to make the interception, but Tomeno just goes up with his better size, 6'2", 176 pounds, and takes the football away. Of course, Bob Shriver's real happy about that. It's always good to get the first score, especially in a big rivalry game like this. It gives you that edge up on your opponent.
And Tomeno, the student council vice president, a happy man right now. Clearly the best receiver on this team. They only threw 11 passes, this Easton team, in their last game, which was a district championship loss and a heartbreaking one in overtime, 20-17. So they rarely go to the air. This time they made it count. Back deep by Lou Moser, Larry Furman, and Bob Orth. And it comes down to Furman. He's up to the 25, finding the steam up to the 33-yard line.
Tackled on the play by Rick.
Chris Ricks made the stop for Easton, and it's 1st down and 10 now for the State Liners offensively. And there's the quarterback, Rich Price, 6'2", 178-pound senior. And he has some extracurricular talent that Kerry Ross will be telling you about a little bit later during our telecast today. Kevin Kane, along with Furman in the backfield. That's Moser in motion, and Kane gets it. Strong running up the right side, just shy of the 40-yard line. Chris Emery, the free safety, made the stop for the Red Rover defense.
Of course, Kane's got good size himself for a running back in high school. 6'1", 205. They say may not be Division I, but he's going to play at Division I AA or Division II and be a good running back, or maybe a linebacker. He plays both ways.
A couple of Yankee Conference schools taking a look at him, we understand. 2nd down, 3 yards to go now, and Moser again in motion. That's Laramie Furman, the sophomore, fumbles, and it's recovered by Easton. At the 49-yard line, Dan Avancho comes up with the recovery. So a couple of huge breaks at the outset here.
You watch Badway right here. Look at the good block. It opens the hole for Furman. A kick-out block by Kane. But watch the ball pop out right there when he's hit by number 12, Chris Emery. And the ball recovered by Dan Avancho.
1st down, 10 yards to go now for Easton. Setbacks are split. Smith now returns the favor, and it's recovered by Phillipsburg. It appears to be Osman on top of
it. Big games. A little nervousness here, maybe. National television. We've seen a bad snap on a punt. We've seen 2 fumbles already. I think a few more hits and they'll settle down a little bit, but it's just he never really gets the snap. I mean, the handoff, you see it right here, it pops off his thigh, goes forward. Now he almost gets the ball back right here. He just can't quite grab it, and then a bunch of Phillipsburg players get the recovery.
Doug Baylor was the man on top of it. Number 30, the other linebacker, as you see Laramie Furman now up to midfield.
Furman's an interesting story. Only a sophomore, didn't play really in the first 3 games of the season. They put him in there, and he started running all over the place. He's run for over 700 yards, averaging 6 yards a carry. So just a sophomore, he's got a bright future himself.
Yeah, Coach Dominic said, yeah, I'm real smart. I didn't find out about this kid until the 3rd game. As you look at Bob Shriver now looking for some defensive intensity now with a 2nd and 3 coming up for the State Liners. Out of the eye, Kevin Kane gets it again. Boy, look at him carry some Rovers that time. Inside the 45 to the 44.
I think it's interesting also that, you know, sophomore, big game, first carry, fumbles the football, but they come right back and give it to him the very next time they get the ball. They want to get his confidence because they know they need him to win this football game. You need your big-time running backs that can make big plays to be confident.
Well, share time, Kane will carry the ball up the middle with those traps most of the day. First down and 10. Furman now inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line. Evancho and Badway both in on the stop.
Timmy, we'll see him run up the middle, but we'll see him run to the right side quite a bit too, behind big Scott Vaughn, the guy that everybody in the country's after, West Virginia included. We did a game in West Virginia last week, and they listed some of the recruits, and he was right among them.
Florida State has made contact with him, along with USC and many, many others. 2nd down, 6 yards to go. At the 39 of Easton. Kane stopped at the line of scrimmage. A bevy of Rovers there to meet him. Todd Wynn, the outside linebacker, the senior, number 80, who will also see some time at tight end on the offensive side of the line of scrimmage, made the stop. And it's 3rd down now and 4 yards to go. This is not going to be, as we told you earlier, this is going to be a very quickly played game. This is a nuts and bolts sort of offense that we see on both sides. Moser in motion. And Laramie Furman gets it again. Stop back at the 40-yard line, a loss. Brian Hunt cut through, the linebacker, the 6', 193-pound senior, to make the stop, and it's 4th down now facing Peaburg.
Yeah, a little surprising that they don't go to their big guy in a situation, a 3rd down situation, which is Scott Vaughn.
Just 2 minutes and 57 seconds remain in the first quarter. Easton with the 7-0 lead. Tim Brando and Stan White with you, and we wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. John Troxel will punt it away now for Peaburg. Staten and Worthy are back deep. Staten has it at his 10. Look at him just bounce off would-be tackler after would-be tackler. Ruled out of bounds at the 17-yard line. 2 minutes and 35 seconds remain. This state line battle continues in a moment.
Back to the Easton Peaburg Turkey Day game. Right now, Peaburg's starting kicker, Steve Turner, is being aided by Kane today after a freak accident Tuesday evening in his home. What happened there, Steve?
Well, I was going out my back door and I fell over a 2x4 while running to a friend's house. And it was at middle of the night and I didn't see it. I just fell over it.
The good news, Tim, however, is that Steve is a junior, so that he will be able to have one more year at the shot at the rivalry.
All right, Carrie, thank you very much. First down and 10 now for Easton. They're at their 17-yard line. Worthy, the quarterback, with a setback split behind him. They'll go right up the middle again. Staten, 26 carries, 160 yards in the loss last week to Pocono Mountain.
Well, that's their base play off the veer option, Timmy. Splitting backs and they hand off. That's a called play. When it's going to be a handoff, they call the handoff. Really not a triple option. When it's going to be an option, they say fake to the fullback and go down the line. But Phillipsburg has taken that away by jamming down their defensive ends. Last year, they only ran 2 options, fumbled both of them, took them completely out of their game, and that's why they lost.
Bruce Heitzman is the center, and he's matching up against Chad Kopak, the middle guard for Phillipsburg. That's something in the trenches that we'll be watching throughout this day. And there's the pitch to Staten again, up to near the 20-yard line. And it was Scott Vaughn, the big left tackle, all 6'6", 275 pounds of him, making the stop.
See Tomeno leading the block. He goes in motion across the tight end, but Staten decides to cut it back up inside. Maybe not a wise cut, because he had some good blocking out around the corner where the play was designed. But when you have great running backs, you just tell them to take the football and find their own hole. They're going to make mistakes once in a while, but more often than not, they're going to make big plays for you.
Third down, 7 yards to go now for the Red Rovers offensively. Staten and Smith are in the backfield. It's the inside reverse to Melman, and he stopped. That fooled no one, and that's about as tricky as Easton will get offensively. He's up to the 21-yard line. Free safety John Troxell made the stop. This is a play that's been very, very fruitful for the Red Rovers all year.
Double handoff. They fake it, trying to get the defense going with Staten, and come back inside to Melman. Now, the third option off that is to pitch it back to the quarterback, Worthy, on an option play. You'll see Worthy at the top of your screen waiting there. If they can get a pitch to him outside, it could be a big play.
Moser and Troxell are back deep, awaiting the punt now from Marlon Worthy. It's a low line driver. They'll let it bounce, and that was an ill-advised move by Troxell. He and Moser didn't get together that time and communicate, and that means the ball will go all the way back to the 40-yard line, where Phillipsburg will start offensively. Hope you're having a great Thanksgiving morning. We'll return. Rivalries just continue on ESPN. Later tonight, Bob Carpenter and Kevin Kiley to bring you the Texas A&M traditional one from Austin, Texas. Memorial Stadium will be filled. The Southwest Conference title and Cotton Bowl not at stake this time, strangely enough, but still a big rivalry in the Lone Star State. We'll have that for you at 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight.
And every one of those players that are playing tonight has a game just like this that they can remember.
Oh, yeah.
Every player has their high school rivalry game that they can play back time and time again.
Pretty good high school football in Texas, wouldn't you say?
I'd say.
Out of the eye set now. Rich Price running the show for Phillipsburg. And Laramie Furman takes it off the right side up to the 45-yard line. That has been an area where they have been successful in this game, Stan.
Well, that's because they're following their big man, Scott Vaughn, number 77. Now, Heitzman is also number 77 for Easton. Now, he's their best defensive lineman, their best offensive and defensive lineman. You see right there, 77 on 77. This time, the white 77 gets buried, but it's unfair. It's a double team with one guy being 278, but that will open up holes.
Second down, 4 yards to go after the gain of 6. And that's the end of the quarter. 12-minute quarters in high school football. This game will move quickly. On a 4th and 10 pass by Marlon Worthy, after a nice ad-lib job on a fake punt, Easton leads.
It's a very special thing for the players from both schools and people from both towns. It's bragging rights. You know, you live very close to each other across the river, and it's intense. It's been going on for 80-some years. It's the biggest game of the year to the players and to the coaches and to the fans, and it's fun as heck to play in. You know, you play early Thanksgiving Day, and you get the rest of the day to enjoy a victory. If you lose, then you gotta wait till next year. But it's intense and it's fun.
And yes, good morning, America. We are happy to be here. And Ned will find out about another rivalry this weekend.
USC, but I'll bet you right now he's watching this game. I know at the time I was in college and pro ball, the one thing we checked on was how the big game came out back home.
On the 46-yard line, 1st and 10 Phillipsburg, trailing 7-0. We start the second quarter much as we did throughout the first quarter. Kane carrying Red Rovers with him for a gain of about a yard, perhaps 2. Todd Wynn, number 80, was one of those over there, along with Steve Mamano, the inside linebacker, number 36, the junior in white.
Well, this was stopped up cold, but Kane did a good job of keeping his legs moving. Watch his legs right here. He runs into his own man, but here he stopped for no gain, which would have made it 3rd and 4 or 5. But watch the legs just carry people forward for an extra couple of yards. 3rd and 2 is a lot easier to make than 3rd and 4 or 5.
And he got all he got from his own emotion and his own physical prowess, that's for certain.
Sure, one of the stats you always keep, both offensively and defensively, is how many yards they make after they're hit when they should have been tackled. Defensively, obviously, not to give up too many. Offensively, you want those extra yards.
Price, he will audibilize a number of times during the day with an eye set behind him. And Furman gets it off the right side. Boy, look at him go. Inside the Easton 45 to the 43. Dan Avancho finally hauled him down.
Off the right side, off the right side. When you have big Scotty Vaughn, 6'6", 275, and he'll remember this no matter where he goes. He will remember this game. He'll remember the ISOs that we do on him. He'll remember this. Watch him just take out to the inside, Heitzman, and watch Kane blocking on the lead block. It really gets Laramie through the hole. Good block by number 87, Greg Truxell, too.
And there goes Kevin DiGirolamo, the other tailback, who backs up Furman inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line. Went down Badway Street that time. Bruce Heitzman along with James Badway on the tackle.
You've been waiting for that one.
Don't take the ball down Badway.
Yes, yeah, I knew that was coming sooner or later. Yeah, both teams running football teams, and you know, obviously we're not going to see a whole lot of passes up in the air today.
2nd and 7 now for Phillipsburg. State Liners trailing by 7. Furman again. Cuts back inside. Boy, nice move by Laramie Furman. Touchdown! Home on the range.
We talk about how many yards after you should have been tackled. Well, this one is a lot of yards added to that column as head coach Bob Schriver looks and says, why didn't you tackle that sophomore? It's just a sophomore. Watch, hit right in the hole by 2 or 3 defenders. Then he bounces out. But you see the way he lowered his shoulder, kept his legs free? Good backs do that. They take the hit in the shoulder, get the legs free, and then bounce to the outside. Sophomore Laramie Furman, his 6th touchdown of the year.
Jim Jaroszak with the extra point, and it's good. The sophomore kicked off for the JV team this year. He has just tied up the biggest game of his life. Bob Schriver looks on. It's a tied game in the 2nd quarter. Tim Brando, Stan White, and Kerry Ross with you as you look at Tom Dominic, the head coach of Phillipsburg. And you talk about a rivalry that is loved. Phillipsburg in New Jersey does not play for a state championship because of this game. The New Jersey Athletic Association said if you want to get in our mid-state league, you'll have to drop the game with Easton. Tom Dominic said, no, I've been here too long. You see his career record. He also played here in the early 60s. Boy, does that tell you something about how meaningful this game is?
I think anybody that's played or been a part of a school that has a rivalry this intense would do the same thing. That's high school football. The rivalries are the most important games of the year.
Matt Stocker kicks off, and it's taken by Lenny Mathis. And look at Lenny go up to the 40-yard line. Lenny, just a sophomore, beyond the 40 to the 42-yard line. And the stop was made by Steve Marcus.
He gets through here, almost breaks this one. One of the last men that has a chance to get him from the inside, clips that back heel, just got the heel. Not even a shoestring, but an Achilles heel tackle.
Come on. And there's Coach Schriver. His game now tied at 7 after the early lead. Marlon Worthy the reason for that touchdown, and there goes Worthy again to the 45-yard line. A gain of 5, 2nd down and 5. As I look at Coach Schriver over there, I'm reminded that he teaches European advanced history. Now, what other coach do you know had a background in history?
Woody Hayes.
Yes.
Yes. And he loved, that's all he'd ever talk about. You go into his office, there's no football books. There's Patton over here, Westmoreland over here. Forget the football. Right? He wanted to know strategies on winning wars, and he took that to the football field.
9:14 and counting remaining in the 2nd quarter. Staten now gives motion. And Worthy will look for him in the air. Batted down by Kane. By number 37, and Garnett got that big paw up there and knocked it down.
Probably a good thing for Easton, because there was a linebacker standing right in front of Staten. It could have been an interception. Number 60, Dave Osmond, went out. Let's see if we can see who knocks the pass down. Looks like number 37, Kevin Kane, was having a good football game, both offensively and defensively. You see 60 right there was standing. They'd have had the interception.
Kevin Kane, the fullback on the offensive side. You see 4 INTs so far this year for him. And the pitch now to Jeff Staten. They run to the short side of the field, and they pay a bit of a price there, as Mike Purcell, along with Kevin Kane, were over there to knock him out of bounds.
Yeah, that sideline is your favorite friend on defense. He's that 12th defensive player that you have to use, especially in high school and college where the hash marks are so close to the sidelines. You got to defend the wide side and use that sideline to help you on the short side, which obviously they did right there, not mistake, not mine.
We're in an area of the field where if a bad snap occurs here, Mr. Worthy could go to work again. Lou Moser and John Troxel are back deep for Phillipsburg. Worthy gets this punt away high, and a fair catch back at the 20-yard line by Lou Moser. And that's where Phillipsburg will have the ball, first down and 10. 8:55 remains on Turkey Day on the Pennsylvania-New Jersey border. The rooms there from Tom Dominic and Bob Shriver, the two head coaches, a profile in courage. And it's certainly something that you'll really enjoy seeing on this day that we all give thanks. And we'll have halftime stats as well. Charlene Hawks will join us as well. Of course, Scholastic Sports America will be here tonight. A very special show coming up tonight at 7:30 from Brockton, Massachusetts. We'll greet Ms. Hawks. Setbacks are split now for Price, and he hands off to Kane again, the workhorse, up to the 25-yard line. Boy, Kevin Kane earns his varsity letter on both sides of the line of scrimmage. He's really been everywhere.
Yeah, he sure does. We have a player down. I hope it's not Kane, because he's been such a workhorse for him. But, you know, a big game situation like this. No, it's number, looks like number 68, isn't it? 89. What is that, Timmy? I can't read upside down.
Particularly this early in the day. We'll check out the injury, and of course Carrie Ross is down there, and she'll be able to get an update for us on his condition as soon as possible. 8:39 remaining. You know, there is a correlation between the NFL and this high school game, and Carrie Ross is going to explain it for us right now. Carrie?
That's right, Tim. The Easton team has an entourage of trainers, ball boys, doctors, almost as many as the Philadelphia Eagles. They have 18 on the sideline support group. 6 of those are ball boys. Easton has 11. They have 3 team trainers, 2 orthopedic surgeons, a dentist, an equipment manager, 1 guy who handles the helmets, and 1 guy who handles the drinks, and 3 student trainers. An entourage of all kinds of help for the Easton football team.
Yeah, and they all get good seats, right? They don't have to worry about tickets. Thank you, Carrie. That was Jim Sprecher, offensive guard, 5'11", 166-pound junior that was injured. And Carrie will no doubt update his status for us in a short time.
They have so many, Jim, because they just want to be a part of it.
That's right. And Coach Shriver told us, and I love having them around. Second down, 6 yards to go out of the I formation, and Laramie Furman again, coming off that 39-yard touchdown run. He gets it up to the 29. Emery and Avancho both in on the stop. Chris Emery, he's another one, the free safety, number 12. He has a shot at perhaps playing college ball at Villanova as well as Rhode Island, number 12.
Well, the play went around the end, Tim, but you got to clear off the inside, too. Watch the block by the center. Osmond on the nose man. It puts Richard Moran on the ground. And that's what you like when you go back to the films, because you get to brag on that play.
Third down and a yard to go, and Kane may or may not have it. Very close. Greg Troxel, the tight end, and now you see Vaughn, 77, saying, yeah, it's a first down, but they may have to measure this one. As predicted, they will call out the change. Kurt Steigerwalt, the white hat head referee, will call out the change. 7 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Stan, so far, this game has been everything we expected. No frills, nothing fancy, just effective, solid football with a couple of nice ad-lib moves by outstanding offensive talent, Marlon Worthy and Laramie Furman.
Right, and the good hard running of Jeff Staten. So the guys that we expected to carry the ball and to do the work are doing it.
The Big Apple NIT championship game. Boy, a couple of outstanding performances on the Syracuse side against Indiana last night. They'll take on Missouri, who handled North Carolina in the other semifinal. Those two will meet at 9 p.m. Eastern time in the Big Apple NIT championship. One of 5 games that you'll see of college basketball tomorrow on ESPN. It is 4th down. 4th and less than a yard for the State Liners. Price has the first down.
They probably saw that replay we had and say, hey, if our center can do that to the nose man, we'll just sneak it. We know we can get a yard, and they did get a yard with Rich Price. In fact, we'll take a look and see what the center does here. Leading the sneak, just goes up, hits the middle linebacker, knocks him backward. Dave Osmond, number 60, having a good game on the offensive line.
That size and strength is on that man's side. Tom Dominic in his second year as the head coach at Peaburg. Out of the eye, Laramie Furman tripped up at the 33-yard line. Rich Moran, number 64, made the stop. Moran is a second-generation player, but not from Easton. His father, Rich Moran, number 64 for the Red Rovers, his dad, Richard Moran Sr., played at Phillipsburg. And we have a lot of that on both sides. Guys that have known one another, good friends, perhaps went to school on the other side of the river.
I don't know if we'd let anybody from Ravenna come to our school. I don't know.
2nd and 9. Nice little maneuver there, and good fake by Rich Price. Faked the trap and then carried it outside. Dan Avancho knocked him out of bounds. Price, not known as an outstanding runner, with a good fake that time, really froze the linebackers inside for Easton.
No, he is not. He more is a senior leader, the guy that gets the football to Laramie Furman and the other backs. But yeah, he's just more of a surprise than anything else in that play.
We're going to listen now to Dick Hammer, the outstanding voice of this valley, call this play.
And that should give the state liners a first down unless there was some movement, and there was not on the Phillipsburg side.
Move the ball out to the 44.
State liners now 2 for 3 converting on 3rd down, as that will be coded up as a 3rd down conversion. The Red Rovers only 1 out of 5.
For Carabinas will split to the left. Lumoser to the left. Again, the state liners stay in the eye. Every shift the defense for. And Price almost lost the stop and center. And by that time, the down he recovered the play was and Price is down by Wynn. By Todd Wynn and Bruce Heitzman.
Yeah, that was the key to the whole play, Dick. With his juggling the football as he came out, that just knocked off the whole timing. And, of course, he rightly, instead of trying to force things, got a good hold on that football. But by that time, Easton had penetrated and nailed it.
That was Bruce Nagy, the color analyst, who joined Dick Hammer. And these two have seen all of the games played, all 23 games played cumulatively by these two teams. 2nd down, and there goes Kevin Kane. Down to the 46-yard line. Easton says there's a fumble, but the ground can't cause the fumble. Chris Emery, number 12, made the stop. There's Kane, the senior fullback. And as we said, he could have a Yankee Conference future in front of him. They love his technique. As always, they say he may be, a couple of inches too short, maybe about 10 pounds too shy of Division I level.
Well, not too bad. Maybe a game like this may raise him up a notch or two in the eyes of some scouts who may be sitting back on Thanksgiving watching this game.
He's having an outstanding game to this point. 3rd down and less than a yard to go once again for Peaburg. Some problems with the snap. Price loses it, and it's recovered by Brian Hunt. The senior linebacker shot through there, and Price really had difficulty. Got the ball caught on his hip. Never really had possession of it off the snap.
Yeah, it almost looked like he's putting his hip to fake, but watch, he gets it here. He thinks he has it. He should have just got the ball and fell down there and come back the next time, but he tries to pick it up. Now, that's 2 that they've had real quick here. So maybe Dave Osmond, that center, trying to get out the block so quickly, is not quite getting the ball back to Price.
Slot right now for Easton, 1st and 10 at midfield. Worthy looking for a little help from Staten, and nothing doing there. Mick Payran, the right defensive end, made the stop for the State Liners. There's Rich Price. Obviously a little concerned now after that turnover, something you don't like to see happen the 11th game of the year. And there's Brian Hunt, the recipient of that recovery. And now you see there he is on the offensive side. Boy, you don't get to go and celebrate.
You know, both these teams have 6 players that play on both offense and defense. In fact, you know, most guys that went on to college end up playing offense and defense in high school.
Brooke Melman is the wide receiver at the top of your screen. Smith in motion. And the pitch the opposite way again to Staten. Down the sidelines, Jeffrey Staten to the 25. John Troxell, the free safety, and Doug Baylor, the linebacker, finally hauled him down.
Well, Bob Shriver does a good job because they go motion one way. The Phillipsburg defense shifts towards the motion. They quick pitch back to Jeff Staten around the short side. That 12th man, that sideline, never got to him on that one, Tim, as he tight ropes down the sideline for good yardage. Staten having a big day himself.
You got to like that body, too. He does have a future in front of him. Remember, just a junior, Jeff Staten. That's Brown in motion. And markers are down. I believe he may have headed towards the line of scrimmage about a step too soon. Down to the 24-yard line was Smith. Kevin Kane made the stop, but we have markers down. Kurt Steigerwald has the call.
Mike Wildrick, number 79, is 295 pounds. Now watch him getting double teamed. Just step back, but he doesn't get knocked out of there. He doesn't get in the way of his own pursuit. Yeah, it's 300 pounds. I guess it's you need at least 2 guys on him.
Back to the Phillipsburg 30. First down, 15.
It was a legal motion. And it's now 1st and 15 with the ball at the 30-yard line. Boy, Wildrick goes 295, Vaughn 275. That's a house in the middle for the State Liners. 3:11 to play, second quarter. Worthy, little option toss. And that was Brian Smith again. Kevin Kane made the stop.
Well, they are getting their option game going a little bit anyhow. As we said last year, completely taken away from them, and that's why they lost 19-10. If you can take away the bread and butter of any offense, you're going to beat that team unless you make numerous turnovers. But, last year, they ran 2 options. The ends came down quickly on the quarterback, who was Brian Smith last year, by the way, who just ran that pitch, and ended up with 2 fumbles.
And Tom Dominic really wanted to get a lead in this game because he felt if he did, then his superior size and strength would take hold. It'd be difficult for Easton to play catch-up, and Staten fumbled the ball. It appears that he recovered his own fumble just shy of the 25-yard line. Wildrick was on top of him along with Chad Kopak, the middle guard.
On the play by Greg Troxell.
That leaves him 3rd and long. The guy you'd think of here is Tamino. Yep. He's a guy on 3rd and long earlier. He was a guy on 4th down that they threw the touchdown pass to. Defensively, I wonder what adjustments they'll make. They should know the same thing that we're talking about.
Bob Shriver remembers this game in 1965. He was the starting center as a sophomore. Head coach now at Easton. Tomeno in motion. And the pitch goes to Staten behind Tomeno, and he can't make the block necessary. Staten stopped back at the 27-yard line. Troxell in on the stop, number 87, the right tackle, along with Mick Payran. Payran is a linebacker that they moved to that defensive end position strictly to stop that Staten maneuver outside.
They send Tomeno out to help block on the outside, but he passes up 2 or 3 would-be tacklers. You got to hit the first jersey you see. If you try to pick out one man, then you're going to miss some of the others that are more likely to make the tackle.
2:07 to play here at Fisher Field on the campus of Lafayette. It's 7-7. You see the timeouts remaining. They could be utilized here by Easton. They have the ball with a 4th down situation coming up. 2:07 to play. Tim Brando, Stan White, and Kerry Ross with you, and we're happy to be with you on Thanksgiving Day. Well, this is a nice time to have a game because, well, usually you're watching Bullwinkle come down the, come down the big street somewhere at a parade, and we've got a good football game underway here.
Good way to start a football day.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving Day.
4th down and 12. They scored one time on a 4th down play, did Easton, you'll recall. And Worthy's going to throw it again. Incomplete inside the 20, down to the 18. He was looking for Jim Brown coming out of the backfield. Good coverage by Payran, the defensive end that peeled back into pass coverage for the State Liners.
Good job, defense. It was short of the first down yardage, even if he would have caught the ball. But I think Worthy did a good job at least throwing the football at their feet where it couldn't be intercepted on the run and run back for a big change of momentum.
Well, it'll be interesting to see now to see how Phillipsburg plays it. 2 minutes left, and well, we get a good indication, don't we? Just off the right side, it's a 7-7 game. Neither coach really wants to take too many chances in a game like this. Laramie Furman stopped. Second down and 8 yards to go coming up. Rich Moran was in on the stop along with Jeff Staten, who comes up out of that linebacking spot. And there's Tom Dominic in his second year. And his counterpart, Bob Shriver. Two men that really do respect a great deal the rich tradition of their programs. Price, under duress, just threw that one away. Moser was the intended receiver, or should we say perhaps the closest man to it in a garnet jersey. Third down and 8 coming up. Staten was covering for Easton.
Just good coverage. They went for the play action on 2nd and long. They don't throw too often. They try to throw when you don't think they are. But obviously good pressure on the outside by Brian Smith. Another one of those fullback, defensive ends, linebackers, plays both ways on the field the whole game.
Purcell is in the game now. One wide receiving spot down at the bottom of your screen. And Kevin Kane, who has carried the ball a number of times in this offense today, stopped for no gain. So as we said, no frills, nothing fancy here with a minute 13 to play. Neither coach really willing to show the offense.
And Easton calls a timeout. They want a chance maybe to block this punt before halftime. A minute 13 left. So they want one more big play.
Talk about rivalries and big games. We've got one from the Sunshine State coming up on Saturday. Our primetime college football offering with Roger Twyble and Lee Corso. The Gators against the Seminoles. Florida State. And the Seminoles need a lot of things to happen to still be in the national championship hunt, but we all know how good they are. And of course, the day begins with College Game Day at 11:30 Eastern Time. Dino Cook and Kerry Ross will join me in the studio for that. There's Bob Shriver talking to his offensive personnel. He should get the ball in good field position after the punt exchange here.
I guess the thing we want to worry about from his standpoint is not to rough the kicker. Of course, Tom Dominic just wants his kicker to get the punt off. He doesn't want to see a block because that would lead to great field position and probably points for Easton.
And John Troxell, who is the starting free safety, also the backup quarterback, could see some time before the day is done. He's considered a better runner than Price. He's back to punt, and you see Staten and Worthy back deep for Easton. That punt's off the side of his foot, shanked a bit, and it just dies at the 47-yard line of Easton. Well, they'll have the ball in great shape with a minute 5 to play, although their offense not really built to take up big gaps of yardage in a short period of time. We'll see what they do with 1:05 to play. Brooke Melman is coming into the game at one of those wingback spots. Brown checks out for Easton. One timeout now remaining for Easton in this final drive here, and the clock ticking with 46 and counting. Todd Wynn in motion. Worthy in trouble from Payran, gets it away, and it's caught. Tomeno again to the 25.
Dean Tomeno, tackled on the play by Baylor and Purcell.
Doug Baylor made the stop. Boy, Worthy looks for 89 and is zeroed in.
Well, he is their main receiver. You see, Worthy's just running for his life. He gets outside of containment. Payran was supposed to keep him inside. You see 89 coming open, but watch the catch. The man goes for the interception, and you saw Baylor, who got off the ground to make the tackle.
Worthy in trouble, finds Todd Wynn, the other tight end, and he lumbers inside the 15 to the 13. 16 seconds remain and a marker down.
Baylor. There are markers on the play.
Baylor again made the stop. And it's against Easton.
Tell you what, they look like they throw the ball too badly.
No, they don't.
Maybe they should open it up a little bit more.
Well, when Worthy rolls out, he's pretty effective.
Yeah, you can see he does it on his own again. He avoids the rush, gets the ball off, wide open. Number 80, Todd Wynn. And watch him lower his head right here. Try to run over that little defensive back, huh?
First down and 15.
First down and 15. The ball on the 30-yard line. Brown is one wide receiver at the lower portion of your screen. Time really running out here. They may not get the play off. It really didn't matter, did it? Sacked back at the 30-yard line. The first to get through there for the State Liner defense was Scott Vaughn, the highly heralded lineman. We have a 7-7 tie in the 83rd renewal of the state line rivalry between Easton and Phillipsburg. And let's get down to Kerry Ross. Kerry?
Coach Dominic, a close game. Turnovers have seemed to be a problem for both teams.
Yeah, but both of us, we wanted to move the ball a little better than we did. We thought we could move the ball on the ground. We have been, but the fumbles and things have really hurt us. Easton came up with that big play. That definitely was a fake punt. That wasn't a bad snap, and that was a great play. Worthy's had some really big plays that first half, and we knew it's Worthy and State, and we had to contain the both of them. I think our defense is playing very well, but we just can't give them the big play because they're too fast.
Any adjustments at half, or you think Easton will make any changes?
We'll both make a few adjustments. Obviously, we didn't throw a pass the first half, and if we're going to win the football game, we're going to have to throw the ball a little bit the second half.
Okay, thanks, Coach Dominic. Good luck second half.
All right, Kerry. There's the Easton locker room. Rich Moran, among others, will be getting quite a talking to that you'll witness when we come back on Turkey Day. Looking live at the Easton dressing room, where at halftime they are tied 7-7 with their bitter rival Phillipsburg. Let's listen in to what the coaches have to say to their players.
He'll go shallow on that, or they'll play action and come backside with some kind of flyer two pattern to the backside. So you should be okay there. Automatics, pick up your automatics, make sure you communicate. I'll back off on the STEMI a little bit, because they're starting to go a little bit more quick count. That's all right. If they're starting to go quick count, you're going to have less automatics. Yes, we stay with a 6-5. If we tell you 6-5, cover 5, night dog, whatever, we tell you to stay with it, the automatic is off. The automatic is off. If we tell you to stay with it. We're looking at short yardage situations, so that's all right. We want to get some penetration. And Stevie McMahon, you're going to have to squeeze the center. You're going to have to squeeze the hell out of the center on that one, because he's just going to sneak in. Any problems? When we get to the automatic in the normal set, don't always raise her. If it's called, yeah, we're going through it. But what we're going to do is, obviously, it's easy to kick you down when you're coming down. And he's just going to lean on you. But we're still 3-on-2. And we're just not getting the job done down here. You can't tackle Kane and 22 up top. They're going to drag you. They're going to hurt you. Stay low. Last series was real good. Got the ball back at field position. Just stay with that kind of theory. You're all right. Brian, watch your penetration, outside and containment. I want a dog as much as we can get. If I don't call a dog, they give you a single split end. You have to run a dog running some kind of 50 or any kind of blitz or something like that. Exit, first down. Because right now, if we can shut him down and get him 2nd and 9, then he might come out and go play action first down. We should be in real good shape. We are happy with...
That's Bill Ryder, the defensive coach, obviously concerned about the tackling of Kane. You have to get low. You heard that, and they will be blitzing a bit more, it appears, in the second half. You're looking now at the Phillipsburg band as they entertain here at halftime. Don't forget, we've got a great rivalry coming up from the Lone Star State tonight as Texas A&M takes on Texas. Let's go to our cool duo, Kevin Kiley and Bob Carpenter.
Timmy, thank you very much. This is
right. Well, we're having a great time as well. It may be a bit cooler, but the intensity and the rivalry is some kind of hot between Phillipsburg and Easton. Hope you're having a nice Thanksgiving morning, everyone. We are tied at 7 apiece. Easton, the Red Rovers, and the Phillipsburg State Liners at halftime. Tim Brando along with Stan White and Kerry Ross. We hope you're having a fantastic Thanksgiving morning here on ESPN. This is...
Is this any indication? You know where my allegiance lies.
And you're back here at Easton helping out now, I understand.
Yeah, I'm not an official coach, but I get my coaching in. during season and out of season. So we have a club that goes on, so that's where I spend most of my time, is helping the kids out of the season.
On my right is Jack Kuvo. He was last year's national champion at 118 pounds. He was 43-0 last year. And he was just a junior. His senior year, now he's 5-0. And I want to know if you're going to come back for the Easton Phillipsburg wrestling match this year.
Oh yeah, this is the heart of wrestling right here. I love to be from Easton because Easton, everybody's into it, and it just psychs me up for college wrestling.
What are your chances as repeating as national champion this year, Jack?
Well, they're hard, but you know, it's like anything. You work hard enough, you can do anything you set out to do in life, and that's my goal, to repeat. And if I go undefeated, then I go undefeated.
The wrestlers come out to support the football team. Did the football team come out to support the wrestlers?
Oh yeah, we'll be there. Me and Bobby, we go to Easton Phillipsburg game. The tradition here is great, especially on a day like today, Thanksgiving. And we're just happy to be a part of it.
Okay, Jack Kuvo, Bobby Weaver, two great wrestlers from Easton High School, a powerhouse. They've won the state championship twice.
All right, Carrie, a couple of grapplers on this Gobblers Day that we have here as Easton takes on Phillipsburg. We should mention that these communities have certainly supported the wrestling teams as well to keep these youngsters afloat in their athletic efforts. Stan White will be joining me. We'll talk about the first half of play in the 83rd renewal of this state line rivalry in a moment. You're listening now to the Phillipsburg locker room. Tom Dominic.
We're going to keep blocking, and we're going to keep tackling, and I want a big smile on my face. Are you guys ready to play football? Yeah! We're going to get out there and play some people. Let's go.
A little fire and brimstone there from the second-year head coach Tom Dominic. Tim Brando along with Stan White.
Hold me back, Tim. I'm ready to go.
You've heard a few of those in your time, haven't you?
Sure have. I've heard some real fire and brimstone from Woody Hayes back to Tom Campana, my high school coach. So that brings back a lot of memories about halftime talks, and it'll transpose itself to the play in the early part of the second half. Of course, they're going to have to make some plays to continue that emotion you build up, but that's what happened the first half.
Were it not for a couple of big plays by Marlon Worthy, this game would be 7-0. Marlon Worthy made this play happen after a fake punt on a fourth down play, another fourth down play, and he found Dean Tomeno.
He did. He threw it up in the air. Watch Tomeno go up and get the ball. Takes it away from the defensive back, number 21, Mike Purcell. Of course, the second touchdown was not, a big play itself. Laramie Furman just breaks a tackle right here. Just a little simple play up the middle. Two guys try to hit him high and miss him. He bounces to the outside and goes down the sideline untouched the rest of the way for a touchdown. You heard the coach talk about a fluke, that they scored on a fluke. Well, both plays really were fluke plays, not ones you would think would end up in touchdowns, because it didn't look like it as the play progressed.
Nothing fancy, no frills, as promised by these two head coaches. And as we show you the statistics, you'll see 6 passes, 2 completions, both to the tight ends for Easton. Only 1 in the air for the State Liners. And passing yardage, well, it's on the side of Easton, and it certainly has abated them in their efforts today. On the ground, the State Liners with just a minor advantage in the ball game. But this game has been nuts and bolts, right side, left side, 3-4 yards, chew up a lot of the clock, and that's the way these teams have played all year long.
Yeah, again, turnovers, big plays, a difference in the game in the first half, although the difference is they're 7-7, so there's not a whole lot of difference between the two teams at this point.
The Cats and the Dogs in a state line battle, and we'll continue from Easton, Pennsylvania with second half action in just a moment. We're tied at 7. Along with Stan White and Kerry Ross in Easton, Pennsylvania, where the 83rd renewal of the rivalry between Phillipsburg, New Jersey, and Easton, Pennsylvania is underway. Kerry Ross is downstairs now with Bob SHRIVER, the head coach of Easton. Kerry?
Thank you very much, Tim. Coach SHRIVER, what did you say to your team at halftime? Any adjustments you're going to make?
We have to score. We haven't had success in the second half the last couple of games. We've got to score. We don't score, we don't win. No adjustments, just go out and win.
Are you surprised at running the ball so effectively?
No, we've been able to run the ball throughout the year. We just have to make our opportunities work for us and get the ball in the end zone.
Are you surprised they're running the ball on you guys so effectively?
No, they're a good, strong offensive football team. They're taking it to us up front a little bit. We just aren't tackling. We're where we have to be. We just aren't tackling strong.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Kerry, you touched on something The running game of Phillipsburg, he's not surprised, I know, because Tom Dominic does have strength and size on its side. And in a game like this, when you're having so many players, 6 on one side, playing on the other side as well, does size and strength really become a factor and you wear down the smaller opponent?
Well, sure you do. I mean, that's always been the case. The bigger guy will wear you down. The object is, though, can you use your speed to offset the size differential? Now, Laramie Furman broke one. Really, he's the small guy, 170 pounds, but he really looks strong running up into the hole, an inside hole, bouncing off and going down the sideline. It's a big Phillipsburg team against a team from Easton that's going to have to use the speed to their advantage. You got to get Slayton on track, Staten on track.
It appears to me that Worthy is the real catalyst for this team, and his ad-lib jobs have really been the story in the game. Marlon Worthy, number 26, the junior, at just 5'7" and 150 pounds, he really has made it happen for this Easton team, and were it not for him, they'd be in deep trouble in this game.
Well, that's the speed we're talking about. He and Staten, they got to get those two key players. In high school, you got to almost overuse your best players, right? Because they're going to be the ones that make the big plays for you. In college and pros, maybe you can't overuse them quite as much because the defense will really concentrate on stopping that one player. High school, you got that difference in ability, a big-time player. You got to use them more and more as the game goes along.
You know, we have had a very warm reception here. I speak for all of us here at ESPN, our coordinating producer of college football, Terry Linger, Stan White, our analyst, and Gary Ross, Drew Ezikoff, our director, our entire crew. We have been treated to just an outstanding 3 days. John Maitland, the AD, the athletic director at Easton, Mickey Frenzy, the athletic director at Phillipsburg. Their staffs have done an outstanding job all week long in helping us prepare a high school game. Very, very rarely do high schools have an opportunity like this, and they've made the most of it and have helped us present this telecast to you, and our sincerest thanks to them. The booster clubs for both of these schools are huge, Stan. I mean, they would rival Division I football programs, and we've enjoyed our stays at both of those get-togethers.
Oh, we sure have, and it's appropriate. The first high school game nationally telecast right here in Easton and Phillipsburg. You know, the real added ingredient is the different states. New Jersey and Pennsylvania right across the river. You don't find too many rivalries like that come from one state to the other.
Easton will kick off. And back deep, Lou Moser for P-Berg, along with Laramie Furman. Andre Powell kicks off for Easton, and Moser has it at his 9-yard line. Moser up to the 25, where it will be first down and 10 for Phillipsburg. Rich Price, the senior, after the 15-yard return, takes over. And what must be going through this young man's mind? He's a senior. This is his last half of football in organized ball, perhaps.
Well, he wants to make it memorable. He wants to put some memories down on videotape that he can watch and watch and watch. And I'm sure his family's out here, people that have played in the game. Another Bulldog.
Yeah. Not Uga and not Bunny.
Bunny, not Bunny.
That's Laramie Furman beyond the 25 to the 26-yard line, only a gain of a yard. Furman, the sophomore, only 170 pounds, will rush for better than 800 yards by the end of the season. Chris Porter and Brian Hunt, the linebacker, in on the stop. Number 74 also has a fumble recovery in this game for Easton to make the stop.
Come on, Oz.
Second down and 9 yards to go now for Phillipsburg. Mike Purcell is the wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Moser in the slot right. And that's DiGirolamo. Up to the 28-yard line. Kevin DiGirolamo. Stopped by Badway.
Well, they said they had to pass the football this half. Coach Dominic said, we haven't thrown the ball. We have to throw it to win. This is the first obvious opportunity. 3rd down and 7. Their leading receiver is Lou Moser, number 85. He's in the slot.
Tom Dominic looks on. Said they throw the ball more. He told Kerry Ross that at the end of the half. This time he goes with the draw play. And guess who gets it? Laramie Furman. He may have the first down. Nice bit of negotiation there by number 22 in Garnet. It appeared that he would be stopped shy of the first down, found a little hole and went for it.
Well, they believed that they were going to pass because they dropped back for the pass coverage. They weren't even looking in the backfield. You see the good blocking up front, and of course Laramie makes a good cut right there to his right. Now watch number 14, Brian Smith, really carry Laramie for the first yardage situation. He pushed him past the first down marker. Defensively, you got to know where that marker is and pull him back.
1st and 10 out of the eye. Furman off the pitch. Up to the 40-yard line. Brian Smith in collaboration with Brian Hunt on the stop. Dan Avancio, number 85, also around the ball. Move over, Red Rover. They're a happy group. Packed house here, as always, for this game. 2nd down, 6 yards to go with 9:33 remaining 3rd quarter. Moser again in the slot, this time to the left side. Business as usual, isn't it? Just hand off to KANE. Stopped by Hunt. Again, Brian Hunt. And on the stop, the active linebacker, Bruce Heitzman, also number 77, the left tackle. You know, we talked about Heitzman with Coach SHRIVER, number 77. He said he's not terribly big, but we think he'll match up well against Vaughn. As big as Vaughn is, because he does play with outstanding technique.
You saw the double team where he really didn't get driven backward. He went down to the ground. That keeps him from getting in the way of the other linebackers. 3rd and 6. Laramie Furman behind Vaughn. Shy of the first down at the 45-yard line. Jim Badway, the 6', 220-pound senior, made the stop. He's very active politically at school. He's a member of the student council. Was the student president of his junior class a year ago. Furman comes out, and it's 4th down now, and a yard to go. They may be considering this is 4-down territory, Phillipsburg. They're in their own territory, but they're going for it. 4th down and 1. I bet you they're going over Scott Vaughn, number 77, yeah. Timmy. Watch for Furman. Watch for Price. 1st down. They went over 60. Dave Osmond, the center, is having a good game himself. Laramie Furman, the reason I mentioned that is I was just handed the stat. He has 102 yards rushing, does Laramie Furman, on 14 carries to this point. Now he's on the bench. That's why we didn't see Laramie. He just came out of the game. They said at halftime on the short yardage situation. Now this is Furman on not the first down play, but a different play that led up to the 3rd down play. As you see, he stopped just short of the first down. But they said the middle linebacker has to get up in the hole, Steve Mamano, to take care of that sneak. Kevin DiGirolamo stopped behind the line. Smith and Staten piercing through to make the stop. Laramie Furman's on the sidelines. Let's find out why from Kerry Ross. Kerry?
Tim, Laramie has a cramp in his leg. He should be back in a couple of minutes. The trainer's working on him right now, but it's not a major injury at all.
All right, Kerry, thank you. He means a lot to this offense. As we said, coming in, he was the leading rusher after not starting until the 3rd game of the year. Mike Purcell now is the wide receiver up at the top of your screen. And Moser again in the slot right. They fake the pitch. And a little look-in pattern was thrown too low. Purcell, the intended receiver, he was there. Price simply didn't get him the ball.
On the play is number 12, Emery.
Chris Emery, the senior free safety, was over there to provide coverage, but had that ball been on target, Purcell would have made the catch.
Again, those are the hardest passes to make when you pass the ball all the time, let alone when you rarely throw the football. Now watch, you see, he fakes one way and then right back, 2-step, throw the football, try to hit him on a quick slant. Those are timing patterns that you work on time and time again. As we say, passing teams have problems timing those up, let alone a team that doesn't throw very much.
Bob Shriver looks on. 3rd down 9. Price looking for Moser, can't find him, and now he's dumped behind the line by Smith. Brian Smith, the outside linebacker, cut through. He had Moser in mind, number 85, all the way here.
Yeah, he rolls out, tries to buy a little extra time. He has plenty of time to throw it, but you see good coverage, and he decides just to tuck it, and there Smith comes up with a sack. But good coverage, obvious passing situation. You know, you got to go for first down yardage. See, 83 may be open right there, Mac Carabinas, but when he wanted to go downfield, get the first down yardage.
John Truxell will punt it away. Nice high spiral. Staten got a late start and fumbled. Boy, he stumbled as he went for the ball, fumbled it, and that was trouble from the start. And it's recovered by Phillipsburg. inside the 30 after a short punt. Kevin Fay apparently on top of it for the State Liners, and a huge break here.
Well, you see Staten, he tries to make the catch on the run. He just takes his eye off it. He really was in good shape to go down the sideline. I guess the only redeeming factor here is from a player standpoint, you get to stay in the game. You don't have to go up the sideline and get yelled at by the coach.
Yeah. 1st and 10 now for the State Liners at the 28. Furman inside the 25. Ball pops loose, but after he had hit the ground, down to the 23-yard line. Staten, I felt, lost the ball because he got a very late start, Stan.
Well, here it is. You can see the ball. He's looking. It seems like he's in good position to make the catch, but he's looking up at number 80 from Phillipsburg. And if you could see number 8... if he would have not looked at the defender but looked at the football, he caught that football. But you also saw no spin. It was a knuckleball type kick, and that's very difficult to catch.
Ben Wellwood was number 80, who he really was staring at there, and he did get the late start. Furman now stopped at the 20-yard line. Boy, it's just simple dive football from here whenever they're in a first and or second down situation. Rich Moran made the stop for Easton. So now, 3rd down and a yard to go coming up.
Well, they've been sneaking in this situation. It seems like they got their option. You know, they can go behind their center, who was playing well, blocking well, and also behind Big Scott Vaughn, who has been blocking well all season long.
Price with 3rd down and short yardage again. And Kevin Kane apparently has the first down near the 17-yard line. Wynn and Madwin combine on the stop. Bruce Heitzman all in there. And that is the look of a very concerned Bob Shriver.
Again, how many turnovers have we had in this big game? A little nervous. That happens a lot in big games. You expect it to calm down in the second half, but when somebody goes out there right away and commits one, you might see a turnover effect, and other guys doing it try to make up for that turnover that they just had.
4:26 to play, 3rd quarter. State Liners have had the ball much of this quarter of play. Laramie Furman again stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Chris Johnson, the reserve outside linebacker, pierced through to make the stop. Just a sophomore, 5'10", 170-pounder. Loss of a yard. 2nd down, 11 yards to go with the ball at the 18.
See Heitzman on Vaughn. He escapes the block to the inside. You see about technique. You see him dip his shoulder, get off the line quickly. You better be able to move quick when the guy is 6'6" and 275 across from you. You use that quickness to escape that size.
Price. Well, this was a bootleg from the start to the 11-yard line. Got some good blocking down the sidelines there. Following number 71, Blair Tallagen, the pulling guard.
Again, just a quarterback rollout. It was a keeper all the way. You can see him take the football under his arm. It may have been a broken play, too. He was looking for Kane to hand off, and he said, hey, you didn't get off on the snap. I'll just take it to the hole. I think that's what it really was. It was he looked for Kane. Kane wasn't there. I think he forgot the snap count, stayed in his stance, and Price made a good ad-lib going down the sideline.
The innocence of high school football. 3rd down and 4. Kane to the 5. Boy, and he went right behind Vaughn, the right tackle, and was he pumped up after that block. Steve Momano made the stop. Vaughn, 77, leading the way, and Kane right behind him.
Just typical fullback here. Both arms on the football, heads up, lowers the shoulder, carries people for first down yardage inside the 5-yard line. I think we may be seeing this kid a little more than we even expected, Timmy.
A who's who among high school students in America. Kevin Kane. Kane down to the 1. Boy, it's power football. That time they went to the left side behind Ettinger and Spencer. Chris Emery made the stop. Vaughn, by the way, 77, the star offensive lineman. As you look at Bob Shriver, concerned, they project him more as an offensive lineman at the big-time college level than as a defensive lineman.
Yeah, his personality is more of a passive type guy, offensive line as opposed to the defensive guy.
Here we go, 2nd and goal. Price Touchdown! The turnovers will come back to haunt you in a game like this. Very simple behind Osmond.
Yeah, they tried to stack up the middle, but that center, Dave Osmond, just doing a good job of clearing it out for Price. Both guards wedging it down in. Just a typical sneak.
Rich Price, a 3.4 honor student, gets his touchdown in the game of his career. And the extra point by Jaroszak is good. Remember, Steve Turner out of the game. Their fine kicker who had a field goal in the 1910 Phillipsburg win a year ago. It's 14-7 State Liners. In on lunchtime, Stan White, Tim Brando, along with Kerry Ross and Stan White on Thanksgiving Day. 5 minutes before 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Those of you in the Central Time Zone, I'm sure it's a warm oven that's going in the kitchen, and those of you on the West Coast, it's breakfast with football. Here on ESPN, we're happy to be bringing it to you. Matt Stocker, number 55, will kick off. Jeff Staten, Brooke Melvin, and Lenny Mathis are back deep. Stocker boots it away. Mathis fumbles it out of bounds at the 5. Oh, the 9-yard line is where they're marking. Well, another mistake. Lenny Mathis, the sophomore, tried to field it on a hop. It bounced off his shoulder pad and out of bounds. So Easton will have the ball on their patio when we return on Thanksgiving.
Here's the kickoff. Again, mistakes have plagued the Easton in this game. You see Lenny Mathis try to take it on the big hop. That's a tough hop to catch. You're better off just letting it bounce out of bounds. Then they have to kick over, but that gives them terrible field position inside their own 10. You know, you stop them here, you're going to get great field position. At least Phillipsburg does if they can come up with a big defensive stand. There's Mathis right now.
Lenny, just a youngster, has another one of these games in his future. I'm sure he'd like to have that last play back out of an I formation. Marlon Worthy to Staten. And that's the man for whom responsible in this last 14 and a half minutes of this game for Easton. He's the guy that's got to make the offense go, number 30. And to this point, he's been throttled somewhat.
He has 800-yard games out of the 11 he's played this year. He's the guy that, you know, is the real pinnacle of their offense. He's the guy they're looking to make the big plays. Of course, he and Marlon Worthy, who has made some big plays.
Yes, he has.
It's Staten's turn now.
Second down, 6 for Easton. There goes Staten again, and he is very close to the first down at the 19-yard line. Greg Troxel, the right tackle, made the stop, along with Mick Payran, the right defensive end, for the State Liners.
They keep pounding out 4 or 5 yards. The average is 6.5 yards a carry, which means sooner or later you can expect him to break one, because you don't get the big averages without breaking a long run now and then.
They're going to measure this one. We should tell you that Easton is 11-2 coming in. I should say 10-2 coming in, and Phillipsburg 8-2. They play one less game. In fact, earlier this year, one of the losses for Phillipsburg came in their first game when a team pulled out. They were on strike the first week of the season, so they had to travel, go a long distance to play a game, wound up losing it by 6 points, so they could very easily be just once beaten by Bethlehem Catholic, which is the best team in this area.
And this time it wasn't the players on strike.
That's right. Minute 30 to play in the third quarter, and Staten is stopped just outside the 20-yard line at the 21. Kane, Kevin Kane, boy, we've been calling that name a number of times this morning and now into the afternoon hours.
He's going to enjoy his Thanksgiving Day meal, that's for sure. He's earned the right to go back and sit on a chair and put his feet up and watch our game tonight at Texas A&M Texas and have a turkey sandwich, because he's working on both sides of the football.
Second down, 8 with the ball at the 21 Easton. Under a minute to play in the third quarter. Staten in motion. Up the middle they go. Brian Smith, the quick hitter. Just shy of the 30 at the 29. Chad Kopak, the middle guard. He is the prototypical nose guard. Not necessarily big, at only 5'10", 185. Number 50 is one of those guys that has a mean sense of humor and arrives in a bad sense of humor normally when he makes the stop.
Well, here we got Kevin Kane, the linebacker, blitzing through the gap, but he does not make the tackles. He's blocked off. He came through the wrong gap as far as that play was concerned, as Brian Smith, the quick hitter, gets into the secondary and just short of first down yardage.
Third down, less than a yard. Staten stopped behind the line, and 37 Kane was there again.
This was called the right gap on defense as he comes through that time and hits Staten in the backfield. Now it's 4th and 1. Do you go for it here? I don't see, of course, the quarterback is the punter, so he won't be coming into the game.
I got to believe you punt it away here. We'll have a timeout to think about it, as will Bob Shriver, because his team is down by 7 with 12 minutes remaining. Here on the campus of Lafayette College at Fisher Field, the State Liners have the lead. Very special happening. High school football. It happens everywhere, and this is a Thanksgiving Day special on ESPN. Tim Brando, Stan White, and Kerry Ross with you from Easton, Pennsylvania on 4th and 2. Easton to punt to open the 4th quarter, and no one is deep for Phillipsburg. Well, they respect Worthy, don't they? At this time, it's Staten punting the ball. And he gets it high into the air, and it will roll into Phillipsburg territory and will be downed at the 41-yard line. Well, they respected the abilities of either Staten or Worthy that time, Stan.
Well, they already been burnt once on what they assumed was a fake punt. I still think you look at it, I think it was the bad snap that made him run the football. But they aren't going to give him a second opportunity, not with a 14-7 lead. And Timmy, you look at the stats for Phillipsburg, they have 176 yards rushing and the big goose egg in the air.
Price at quarterback, who scored that last touchdown after the muffed punt by Staten after a 19-yard drive. And here he hands off to Laramie Furman. Chris Emery comes up from the safety spot along with Brooke Melman to make the stop. Gain of a yard, it'll be 2nd and 9.
Phillipsburg will be very happy to not get another yard in the air, just have any yards in the air. Just go right down the field, have about an 8-9 minute drive, score a touchdown, and go home.
We haven't seen any of John Troxell at quarterback, although Price has not been outstanding today. He has been the leader that Coach Dominic likes. And he's gone the distance at quarterback. And Furman carries up the middle beyond the 45 to the 46, and a marker down. Kurt Steigerwald gives us the indication. Motion against Phillipsburg. Kerry Ross is standing by downstairs.
Illegal motion on the offense, 5 yards. 2nd down. Repeat the down.
And we'll hear from her now. Kerry?
Tim, this has to be one of the most unusual trophies awarded to the victor of this game. It's the Forks of the Delaware trophy, not only because of the Forks of the Delaware in Lehigh Rivers, but because it's played on Thanksgiving Day, and Easton's had this trophy more often. 44 to 33 to 4, they lead the series.
Gee, I should get maybe a fork, a knife. We could have a little trophy for a Thanksgiving lunch.
You with forked tongue.
2nd down at 13 for Peeberg. And there goes Laramie Furman. There goes Laramie to midfield. Just shy of the 1st down on a 2nd down carry. Evancho, Dan Evancho, number 85, and White made the stop for Easton.
Bob Shriver talked about their inability to tackle both Kane and Furman. Watch Furman go through the hole. Good lead blocking, good cut back here, but right there should have been a tackle. Just tried to tackle with his shoulder. You got to wrap up when you tackle on defense. You try to body block, you know you're not going to get the guy a good back down. See a hit right here. That's a good hit, but he didn't get him down. That's good balance by Furman.
Emery made the hit, and he's the one that they believe could be playing in the Yankee Conference with a scholarship next year. He didn't get those arms wrapped around him. Price on the sneak again, apparently enough for the 1st down. Bob Shriver very concerned this drive with 9:40 to play.
Foul, illegal procedure on the offense. Clear down.
Yeah, that really helps Easton, and you could tell by looking at Shriver, he's concerned because with this running game and the power that we talked about, they'll eat up time as well as perhaps get points, and that could all but end this game because his team is not built to come back in a hurry.
No, neither team is a throwing team, but I think Easton probably would have a better chance of coming from behind because Worthy, if he goes back, he may throw it up, and the tight end Dean Tomeno could come down with it, or he could run around and buy time or run downfield. He's a good athlete. Price does not have that ability for Phillipsburg.
And we have a marker down again. They have had too much time against Phillipsburg. Yep, we did.
These are huge breaks, especially a team that's a running team. Took a 3rd and inches down now to 3rd and 10. Now they got to throw the football. They haven't got a yard yet.
Shriver happy to see that penalty. That'll make it 3rd and 11. They were just at 3rd and inches a few moments ago. After the motion and now the delay of game, they stare at 3rd and 11. Oser in motion. Play fake. Price in trouble. No receiver really. Designed as a run, or it was a mix-up in the routes being run by the receivers. Badway and Heitzman and Wynn were running him out of bounds. It's 4th down and a punt formation forthcoming for Phillipsburg.
Well, it wasn't a pass. It was just one of those bootlegs, hoping to find everybody sucked in on Laramie Furman, but that may happen on 3rd and 1, but it's not going to happen on 3rd and 11. Everybody's going to guard their areas and try to stop them getting the 1st down.
Oh, friendly rivalry between the mascots. There's John Troxel, sets up to punt it away. Staten and Worthy are deep. And he missed that one. Out of bounds, a short punt, maybe at the 50-yard line. So Easton could be in great shape when we return in a moment.
Brendo earlier talked about Richard Moran Sr. and Jr. Mr. Moran here is a graduate of Phillipsburg, but his son is playing for Easton. How do you handle that situation?
Crazy. My wife drives me crazy about it.
And who are you cheering for today?
A little bit of both. Mostly for Easton, though.
Well, he told me he does have a great T-shirt on underneath this red and white, Tim.
All right, Gary. A proud father indeed. And he has patience dealing with it at home. Marlon Worthy on 1st down, as we said, after a poor punt by John Troxel, measuring only 9 yards. Easton with a great opportunity here with the ball at the 49-yard line as they start this series. Kevin Kane again made the stop for the Stateliners after a yard pickup for Worthy. 2nd and 9. We could be looking at the drive of the game right here.
Well, again, shows you how much those penalties mean. Because the punt ended up about the exact same place they would have been if they'd have made the 1st down on the sneak. But 2 penalties set them back 10. They punt the ball 9.
Worthy, who has been the offensive star of the game for Easton, on 2nd and 9. Well, gets a nice block from Staten there, and that sets him free down the sidelines. Good lateral pursuit, though, from Kopak. That middle guard, boy, he got over there in a hurry to knock him out of bounds. The 5'10", 185-pound senior, Chad Kopak, and there was a fumble down along the sidelines after the hit by Kopak.
You see, he's shooting down the sideline. He turns on the jets, but he's carrying the ball in the inside arm. You're liable to fumble. You get hit right there. Fumbles the football. Does it go out of bounds before Phillipsburg can get it? Let's see. Looks like he recovered it. They didn't give it to him, though. There's no replay here.
No further review. And there goes Staten on the delay. Boy, we were waiting for that to happen, and so was Bob Shriver inside the 25 to the 22. Kopak again with the saving tackle. Well, Staten only with 15 carries in this game. After that gain of 18, he'll have 74 yards. And, of course, he had the fumble that led to the touchdown to give Peeberg the lead. And we have an injured Stateliner along the sidelines.
Again, you can see how games turn one way or the other. This sneak, the penalty for Phillipsburg. The fumble they didn't get that went out of bounds. And then Staten comes back and makes a big play. Goes up the middle, breaks to the outside. This is what we're waiting for, to see him turn it on in the secondary. Makes a man miss right there. Goes down the sideline. Makes another guy miss, but just gets his leg. And that's the guy that's got hurt, though, I think, right there, number 50, Kopak.
Yep, 50. As we mentioned, the middle guard, he's a tough customer. Kerry Ross has some information on the status of one of the injured stars down on the sidelines. Carrie?
Tim, Chad Kovac has had a recurring injury on his thigh, and he apparently got hit in that thigh with one of the helmets, and he's going to sit out for a couple minutes, but the trainer said he should be okay.
All right, Carrie. On top of that circumstance before he could get to the sideline. We appreciate that. Staten off the right side to the 22-yard line. Edinger and Osmond combine on the stop for the Stateliners.
7:35, Timmy. If they do score, do you go for one here? You're having trouble all day getting into scoring situations. Only the fake punt and the Hail Mary pass got them a score.
Yeah, there's no overtime in this game. Now, in the state playoffs a week ago against Pocono Mountain, Easton lost in an overtime, but they don't have that here. I would suspect that they would play for two if they get in. First things first is Worthy pitches to Staten. Out of bounds. Inside the 15-yard line, and Jeff Staten is kicked in on all cylinders, it appears, and the fans appreciate it.
Well, the changes they talked about making in their option series, that is blocking the end man on the line of scrimmage rather than optioning that man, has worked. You see that allows him to get the pitch, and he pitches out to Staten, who gets around the corner. Watch him keep his balance, put his hand down, drive for that extra yard, and go by the first down marker. He's picked up the ball that we talked about. He's done his job.
Roxel made the stop, and it's first down for Easton. Melman in motion, and we had a move. It was the tight end Tomeno that moved prior to the snap up at the top of your screen, and that should cost the Red Rovers 5 yards. There's Tomeno, the recipient of the 2 completions in this game, and one of them for a touchdown on 4th down. I'm surprised they haven't gone to him more. Tomeno.
Well, he's shown the ability, 1, to get open, and 2, to make the catch even if he's not open. Go up and get the football.
His height at 6'2" is a big advantage, and he appears to make the necessary adjustments once the ball's in flight.
Well, you look at the Phillipsburg secondary, 5'8", 5'9", 5'11", 5'11". Yeah, he's got that height advantage that allows him to go over top of and get the football. We may see that again before too long here as his family puts him into a more precarious situation.
1st and 15 at the 17. Quick hitter up the middle again. They go to Matt Patsula, 5'8", 160-pound senior.
Stop on the play by
Kopak.
And Kopak.
Back in the game after that thigh cramp that Kerry Ross mentioned. The ball at the 14 after the gain of 3. It's 2nd down and 12 yards to go with 6:39 to play. Melman is in the slot right. Fake inside reverse. Staten. Smith is open on the option pass. He couldn't get rid of it, and he fumbled the ball. Recovered apparently by Easton, but boy, did Staten have Brian Smith wide open in the end zone. He looked to him late, and then once he was ready to rifle the ball downfield, he was in trouble.
Yeah, it was a fake reverse pass. You see, he faked the inside reverse. He's looking downfield, but he just cannot get stopped to set up to throw the football. Number 20, Bob Orth, gets him by the legs, and then his ball slips out of his hands, and it's recovered by number 80, Todd Wynn for Easton, saving them the opportunity at least to try to put the ball in the end zone again.
Missed opportunity there. 3rd down and 17 for Easton. Worthy will roll and look for Staten. Incomplete. He threw into try coverage over there. Moser was back to cover along with Neil Merkham, the other cornerback. Well, they were all over number 30 coming out of the backfield. They knew that's where Worthy wanted to go, and Bob Shriver says, get a TO. 5:26 to play in the 4th quarter. Rob Shriver and Tom Dominic will orchestrate the last 5:28 here on the state line. 13-7 our score in the 4th quarter. We're in Easton, Pennsylvania, the 83rd renewal of the rivalry between Phillipsburg and Easton. A great high school rivalry and a great collegiate rivalry. Coming up tonight, the Longhorns and the Aggies from Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas. And there you see the crowd on hand, and they're waiting now The biggest play of this game, 4th down and 17 facing Easton. They're trailing by 7, and the ball is on the 19-yard line. It could come down in the aftermath that this was the play of the game. Win in motion. Worthy going long for Staten. Touchdown, Jeff Staten. Two times on 4th down, Worthy has pulled it out. Go long, I'll put it up. You out-jump the defender, and we may win this game.
Well, I don't know about Worthy pulling it out. I think the two receivers, Staten and Tomeno, have pulled it out. Watch him go down, go to the corner. You see both of them. There's Staten and Tomeno, just throws it up in perfect position. But again, look at the size differential. Lou Moser, number 85, is 5'11". Staten is 6'1", 190. The best basketball player on the team. They say he can dunk backwards over his head, and that's exactly what he did on that one. You don't think Bob Shriver is happy about that? He's saying, now do we go for 1 or go for 2? Yeah. You celebrate for a short time when you're still a point behind.
Well, he'll have some time to consider what he has in front of him with 5:20 remaining.
I overheard the offensive backfield coach for Easton, Coach Halt, tell Coach Shriver to let the players decide what they want to do, go for 2 or 1. It's their ball game to win or lose.
All right, Carrie. Well, that says a lot for this rivalry, doesn't it? He could play for the tie very easily, and with the hopes that his defense could get it done, he's left it with the players.
Did you see Risky Business? You don't play for ties in Pennsylvania.
That's right. You know, at a time like this, I'm sure the coach is saying, well, yeah, there's a lot on the line, but, you know, on Monday, I'll go back and teach that advanced European history class.
Not if you play for a tie.
5 minutes and 20 seconds left to play. As we mentioned before that touchdown toss, which did measure officially 18 yards from Worthy to Staten in the aftermath, that play could be the game. And we say that with 5:20 remaining simply because these two teams use up a lot of clock, do not take up a lot of yardage in short periods of time. So here we are. They're going for 2. Worthy rolling in the direction of Staten, who's open. He's got it. And he was wide open, and Bob Shriver loves it.
Easton 15-14.
Timmy, I don't know how you don't cover the main threat on the offense. He goes in motion. It looks like the defensive back is going with him. Their number 20, Bob Worth, goes with him, but somehow they forget about him. I don't know how you forget about Jeff Staten, but you see Marlon Worthy with his speed just enables him to buy enough time, and nobody takes him. Now you watch Phillipsburg's players, they start to turn and start to yell at each other about who should have had him. But here, watch the speed. It gets him to the outside, allows him the time to find the wide open Staten in the end zone. But nobody covered him at all.
And imagine this emotion. The kids don't forget, and neither do the coaches.
Timmy, when you look back over your career, whether you went on to college and stopped or went on to pro ball after all those years, you think what Bob Shriver's thinking right now. That play, the plays. I mean, I remember the plays from the big game that we played against. I remember Nottingham going all the way on a long touchdown run, and then us coming back to win the football game. Yeah, you think about that growing up. All these young Easton potential football players are thinking about being at Jeff Staten and scoring the winning two-point conversion, and you remember it later looking backwards.
And it's not over yet. 5 minutes remain. Andre Powell kicks off, and Moser has it at his 17. And he's down at the 25. Quickly coming down to cover him, Keith Clark, a junior tackle. Just a 9-yard return, and watch Clark make the hit right here.
Well, you come up with big plays that gets the emotion going, and Keith Clark comes through the middle, goes right through the blockers, and makes the big play on Moser. You know, Phillipsburg, again, not completed pass, don't have a yard passing. They got to now.
Kane and Laramie Furman have had their moments, but Rich Price, although he sneaked in once for a touchdown, has to get it going in the air, you'd think. That won't work. They're ready for it. Kane stopped by Mamano, Badway, and Heitzman. Laramie Furman broke free 39 yards for a touchdown earlier in the game. But as we mentioned, neither one of these teams can cover a great deal of terrain in short spans of time.
We said maybe Easton would be better at that, and they were.
Yep.
Now we'll see whether Phillipsburg can do it.
Price, a look-in pattern picked off by Brian Hunt. The linebacker stopped at the 28-yard line.
Brian Hunt on the Easton interception, tackled on the play by Moranci.
The coaches keep coaching. Carrie Ross has more downstairs. Carrie?
Yes, Tim, I just talked to the quarterback for Easton Worthy, and he told me that the play initially was to go to Staten, and he knew he was wide open, but he just had to make room for himself to make the pass. It apparently worked.
Boy, did it ever. It absolutely worked. And as we mentioned so often, the two most talented players on a team really can come in handy for you, much more so in high school football than at the collegiate level.
The big guys win for you. There's a big difference in the talent abilities.
Hatsula to the 25-yard line. Purcell. Mike Purcell made the stop, number 21, and there's Heitzman and others looking on.
Funny, Tim, there's been a lot of big plays in this football game, but if you look back, maybe the biggest play of all was 3rd and inches penalty. 4th down, penalty.
Right.
They had to punt, 9 yards on the punt. It allows them good field position. They come down, tie it up, go ahead. Didn't tie it up. They went ahead the 2-point conversion.
Hatsula now in motion. Staten the lone setback. He fumbles the ball. And it appears P-Berg gets it back. Well, that's what they couldn't have happen on that drive. And Bob Shriver will have to live with that mistake. Shriver has seen Staten with a couple of them today, once on a punt that led to a touchdown to give P-Berg the lead, and here's another one.
Well, just the simplest play in football, the straight handoff. There's a big hit. Right, well, he may have lost the ball before he was hit. Greg Truxell, 87, hits him, but it looked like the ball was coming out even before then.
Yeah, and Kopak made the recovery. Chad Kopak, the middle guard. And that may be Staten that's down. You see Kopak, as Kerry mentioned, he has had a thigh problem, and he's down there on the bench right now being tended to after a huge fumble recovery that could keep his team in the game.
He's been in and out of the game, but this is a game you don't want to miss. You don't want to, you talk about remembering, or you don't want to remember sitting on the sideline when somebody else was making the plays. You want to be out there one way or the other making plays that contribute to this football game.
Staten is now coming off, and I'm sure Kerry will be doggedly trying to track down his status when we come back a few moments from now. If, in fact, Easton does get the ball again, they will need Jeff Staten, fumble or no fumble.
They need him on defense.
Yeah, they do.
Starting strong safety for him.
First down 10 with the ball at the 20-yard line. Price, again, a bit of a problem with a snap. Throws, he has his man, that's Troxell. The first completion of the game for Price, and it could pay dividends to the 38-yard line to Greg Troxell.
He goes back. This time Troxell just goes down and turns over the middle. You'll see the ball coming right directly to you. There's no coverage on the inside. He catches on his knee, so he's down as soon as he catches the football. They want to keep, the reason they're playing it that way is they want to keep them in bounds. They're taking away the sideline and giving the passes over the middle because the clock keeps running.
At 2:27 and counting. 15-14 our score. Easton with the lead, and Furman is down at the 35-yard line. It's the hugest rivalry in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. It's a Thanksgiving Day Classic that these two teams have played for 82 years. This is the 83rd renewal, and Easton has got a 1-point lead. 15-14. All 3 timeouts remain for Phillipsburg, and we're under 2 minutes to play. Price for Troxel again, incomplete.
Yeah, these are big plays that, again, we've talked about how long you remember these plays. Price will obviously remember the interception that he threw and then his second chance. But again, he wants to go to one of his favorite receivers, Troxel, who has the only catch of the day. He throws the ball pretty well here, considering Hunt's in good position, just off his fingertips. But you got to go downfield a little bit more in this big 3rd down play.
3rd and 10 now for Price. He's looking long for Lou Mosher. Well overthrown. Avancho was back in coverage, number 85. Bob Shriver now looking at a 4th down situation for his defense to handle. We should mention that his team has been very successful on 4th down with a couple of touchdown tosses. Worthy to Tomeno early, and then Worthy to Staten moments ago to put them in position for the 2-point conversion to grab the lead. But with 1:43 to play, it's down to 1 play for that man, Tom Dominic.
Well, he's probably thinking they did it on 4th down. It's our turn.
Price. Karabinsky's out there, and he's got him at the 49. Mike Karabinas. Chris Emery made the stop, and a timeout called by Phillipsburg. 1:34 to play. Mike Karabinas was wide open. It was just a question of when Price would spot him. Finally, he did.
Well, the thing that got him open was the rollout by Price, because Todd Wynn, who plays outside linebacker, was back with Karabinas and had him covered. But as soon as Price threatened the line of scrimmage, he came up. But when you're a linebacker, especially in that situation, 4th down, you don't come up until he crosses the line of scrimmage, and you know he can't throw the pass. You come up, especially Price, who's not going to really threaten running the football. You stay back, you let him get 5, let him get 8, just get the man down. It's your ball and your game.
We're going to take you back in time 4 minutes ago. The play of the game at this point. Marlon Worthy for the 2-point conversion. Staten was wide open.
Yep, nobody covered him. The biggest play of their season, and somebody missed it mentally. Talk about mental errors.
And to get to that point, and to stay in the game, Price, after a fumble recovery on a 4th and 13, had to keep this drive alive, and he did so by finding Karabinas open.
Yep, he's open on the sideline, but you saw number 80, Todd Wynn, coming up, try to knock the ball down, but if he stays back, they probably have the game.
Bob Shriver will remember that play if, in fact, Phillipsburg comes back to take the lead. 1st and 10. Price has a number of receivers open. Mosher had it. Then on the tip drill, Troxel nearly came up with it.
Got a flag down. I don't think that 12th man got off the field in time for Easton.
That would be a huge break now for Phillipsburg. It would get them into Easton territory with 1:29 to play. Phillipsburg with a couple of timeouts remaining. And Steve Turner is out of this game, and he can't kick field goals because of his broken kneecap, as Carrie Ross told you earlier. We're going to go down to her now for more on that looming situation. Carrie?
Thank you, Tim. Steve, you're not going to be able to kick the field goal if it comes down to that. What do you think about Jaroshak? Can he handle it?
I feel that he might be able to handle it. I think he could do it.
What's his range?
About 35 yards, I think.
Feel pretty confident you guys can pull this out?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like I said earlier, the innocence of high school football.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I'm real confident.
That's right. Don't you know he would like to have that opportunity? Thankfully, he's a junior and will have a shot next year. Price. That's DiGirolamo, and that may be a 1st down at the 40-yard line.
Well, if his range is 35 yards, no, they're saying it's incomplete.
No, they did say it was incomplete. Well, it appeared to be a catch, and the official was ready to line it up as a completion. Jeff Staten was over there covering, so now it's 2nd down and 5 coming up.
That means they have to get inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line if they want to get in field goal range.
DiGirolamo is a good pass receiver coming out of the backfield. Price trying to buy some time here. Will have to tuck it away. He gets to the 44-yard line, 2 yards shy of the first down. Brian Smith made the stop. You see the time remaining, 1 minute and 11 seconds left on the clock. Easton, Pennsylvania, with a 1-point lead over Phillipsburg, New Jersey. And a timeout has been called with 4th down, or 3rd down, and 3 facing Phillipsburg.
Set up, all right?
Well, you know, I'm wondering now, after watching this last drive, why Price wasn't throwing the ball a bit more earlier. He's looked pretty good in a drop-back mode in this last drive.
Not bad. You know, the first one he threw, the drop pass that was intercepted by Hunt, didn't make you feel very confident about his ability.
But since then, he's been pretty good.
He's thrown some good passes. Had one dropped over the middle that could have been caught. Not too bad.
He's an artist, by the way, a 3.4 student, and the head football coach, DOMINIC, has a huge painting on the mantelpiece that was drawn up by his quarterback. He says, though, he is into pastels now. I wish he wouldn't do that, but but he is a fine artist. There's the kicker, Jim Jaroszak, who is hoping for a chance to win this game. It's 3rd down and 3. There's the pass picked off, marker down. It could be called back. Brooke Melman picked it off, but a marker is down, and the Phillipsburg contingent appears happy. So hold on to everything.
Yeah, looks like they may be calling interference on the play.
So the drive will remain alive. The preliminary indication was, in fact, interference against Easton. Defensive holding. Kurt Steigerwald with the call.
We have defensive holding. Defensive holding.
Oh, Bob SHRIVER, the pendulum swinging the other way, and he can feel it.
Well, here's the pass. Now, you'll see it intercepted right here, but the holding occurred before that on the receiver that it was intended for. There's the flag. A little late flag, I think, for holding. Usually holding is right away.
Out of the I formation, 1st and 10 at the 35 of Easton. Price with a little roll, and down. The stop was made by the big nose guard, Richard Moran. The senior 210-pounder pierced through there to make the stop. Back at the 45-yard line, clock ticking, 48 seconds. And another timeout apparently. Well, we have an injured player. It may be Price. Price is down at the 45-yard line. And that means Troxel, who does have some experience at quarterback, normally would play a series or 2. He's a starting free safety, may be pressed into duty here. There he is, John Troxel. Last week he rushed for 13 yards. That's really not indicative, though, of what he means to this team. He's an experienced player. He's the cousin of Greg Troxel, number 87. The Troxel family goes way back in state liner football history.
Smokey and Butch.
That's right.
And now they can never remember which guy's the father of which one.
Well, I'm sure John and Greg know.
That's just indicative of how these rivalries are built up over the years, with the names remain the same, the relatives, the friends. That's what makes them rivalries.
Yeah, the DiGirolamo family goes way back in the history of Phillipsburg football as well. 2nd down and 20 will be facing Troxel with 48 seconds to play. With a timeout remaining, there's a lot yet to be decided.
Including my...
Yeah, well, you want to get yourselves together.
SHRIVER wanted to know who called the interference.
Keep recording, Rocky.
He was very upset.
Oh, this is great shit.
All he said was, I want to know his name. Let me know.
Put him on his list. He wants to know which name to send into the review board.
John Troxel in the game because that man, Rich Price, was injured on the play. Troxel, by the way, in the air, not bad. His numbers are pretty good. Number 10 in maroon and garnet. Garnet and gray, 15 of 25 in the air for 204 yards this year. And he'll get his opportunity, no doubt, to put the ball in the air on this drive. Carrie Ross has made her way over to the Phillipsburg sideline to find out the status of Price. And there's no question she'll inform us as soon as she finds out. You got to believe, though, judging from the way he looks down there, that he may not be back in the game. That it's going to be Troxel that gets it done or doesn't get it done in this final drive of the season for Phillipsburg. The ball is on the 44-yard line of Easton with 48 seconds to play. All Rich Price can do is watch and perhaps remember. Troxel to Laramie Furman, out of bounds. Not a bad move by Furman. Inside the 40 at the 36. Gary Ross has more on Rich Price.
Tim, Rich Price has a hip pointer. The trainer says he's not going to be back in for the rest of the game, so a big loss for Phillipsburg.
Yeah, and it puts a lot of pressure, Carrie, on Troxel. And obviously, Price will have to live with the fact that he couldn't finish out his senior season. It's a tough way for it to end for him. 3rd down and 14 now with Troxel at the helm. Looking for Moser, knocked away by Emery. Chris Emery at the last moment knocked it away. Boy, Moser was there and the pass was on target.
That's what's called hitting it at the right moment. You have to hit it as the ball hits. If it's early, you're going to get another flag. Let's see, how close was it? Pretty close, but he got his arm in there, got his hand on the ball. Maybe all that arguing that Bob Shriver did influence that call a little bit, huh? They're holding hands waiting for this last play.
4th down, it comes down to this. Troxel looking for DiGirolamo. He's got it at the 15, out of bounds, and Shriver is in anguish. It's been a 4th down payday for both of these teams.
Just out of the backfield, down the sideline, Kevin Girolamo gets behind the front man in the zone. The deep man wasn't paying attention. Now he's down to the 15. He's inside that 35-yard range.
30 seconds to play in the game. 1st and 10. Easton leading 15 to 14. Troxel rolling. Throws. There's Moser. Touchdown. Lou Moser. The backup quarterback, John Troxel, comes in. 2 for 2 in the air and a touchdown to Moser. What an ending.
Again, he buys time. He rolls out. They know he can run the football. They're in field goal range. Moser just finds his way open. A throwback across the field. A dangerous pass, but not when there's no defenders there.
The extra point by Jaroszak is no good. And the what if comes to mind. What if it had come down to the field goal try? Well, John Troxel made certain that that was not a problem. The junior came in 15 of 24 in the air. And in a game where you would have figured he could have come in at quarterback earlier, he had been quarterbacking at least a series or 2 in each of the games all year. They don't use him today until the bitter end, and it becomes a bittersweet end, perhaps for Easton.
Geez, you don't think he'll remember that the rest of his life, huh? Now he's going to go out and cover on kickoffs. That's high school football. Jack of all trades.
Richard Vaughn, a senior. What must be going through his mind? His dad, of course, a Phillipsburg grad, as we chronicled earlier.
There'll be a lot of kids in the Phillipsburg elementary schools next week dreaming of being John Troxel.
Yeah.
The guy who comes off the bench to win the football game.
Remember, Staten now has breakaway ability, number 30. You've got to believe that Matt Stocker will keep the ball away from that man. Jeff Staten, just a junior who caught the potential game-winning 2-point conversion try moments ago. Patsula gets it on the squib. He's up to the 35-yard line. Easton must get the timeout called with 18 seconds to play. I want to go back to John Troxell for a moment. Number 10 in garnet and gray. The quarterback, starting free safety. You talk about great stories in a rivalry of borderline states. That young man is dating a cheerleader for Easton High. Her name is Nicole Allen. He'll have to live with the fact that he ruined her day today as a cheerleader for Easton by throwing the touchdown pass to perhaps win the game.
I tell you, that's not a win-win situation. Well, it's a win-win and a lose-lose situation, because one way or another, somebody's going to be very, very unhappy in that relationship.
18 seconds to play in the game. Easton with the ball.
Phillipsburg penalized
and a
15
penalty
yards.
on the kick.
Easton.
Perhaps piling on to give Easton the ball inside the 50 at the 49. So a late flag gives Easton ample opportunity here with the timeouts that they have remaining to stay in the game. We've already seen what Worthy can do in big play situations on 4th down. Well, it's 4th down from here on in from a mental standpoint. A trips right formation with wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Smith is the lone setback. Worthy will let it fly. Going deep, and it's picked off by guess who? John Troxell.
Intercepted by John Troxell. Tackled on the play by number 31. And number 30, Worthy.
And the story of the improbable hero continues on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Bob SHRIVER looks on. His team feeling the pinch. A game they thought they had in their hands slipped away. Our final score, Phillipsburg 20, Easton 15. An intense, heated rivalry between friendly, borderline football players and coaches.
Please stay off the field.
Match Tim, I'm with the winning coach. He's undefeated against Easton. How does it feel, Coach?
Well, it's great. You know, we thought we had the game at the half. We thought we were beating them at the half, and we said, just like I said, Staten and Worthy, those guys just do it all the time. Easton came back. We didn't play badly, but they had the big plays. And then this guy right here, Richie got hurt, and John was under such pressure, and he came up with the 2 big plays at the end of the game. But I guess that's really great.
What was going through your mind when Richie got hurt and Troxell had to come in?
Well, John practices with the first team all week. I mean, we consider John a 1.5 string quarterback. He's a great athlete. I was sorry to see Rich get hurt, but I know John. I have all the confidence in the world in John. He runs the team.
Okay, thanks, Coach. And here is the hero of the game, John Troxell. And talk about the touchdown a little bit.
Well, I just rolled to my right, and I didn't see anybody open. I saw Louie, who caught the pass. He's standing there waving his hands. I just threw it, and he did the rest. And
what went through your mind when you realized that you were going to have to go in the final seconds of the game?
I was so nervous. The one thing I thought about was when my brother played here, the quarterback got hurt. That he was the backup for it, and he went in, and they won the game then. And I was just thinking, I got to just do the job. We came back and we win.
Okay, now you have a girlfriend on the rival side cheering. Have you guys even talked this week?
A little, but not much.
They were giving her a hard time saying she was going to cheer for you guys and not her own team.
Well,
now she has the hero of the game.
I guess. I don't know. Not everybody won it. It was the linemen that did it. The linemen, they blocked great the whole game. They deserved to win.
Okay, thanks very much, John. Of course, then he came back and made the interception as well, Tim.
Gary, we have improbable heroes in sports, and I think that perhaps this shot tells even another story. Bob SHRIVER will have to pick up the pieces in a matter of moments, try to put a 10-3 season in perspective for a club that has lost heartbreakers, an overtime loss last week in the state playoffs, and now this week in the game of the year, in the game of careers. This man has a very difficult job, but you know, on Monday he'll be teaching advanced European history, and the job just continues. The sun always rises in high school football. 20-15 our final. P. Berg with the win. Back to wrap it up in a moment. Stan White and Kerry Ross back in Easton, Pennsylvania. You're now looking at the Easton huddle, the emotions that must be going through the minds of those that come away a loser this game. But right now, their head football coach, Bob SHRIVER, is doing his best to make them remember that the game of life is more important than the game itself. We've just been handed information relative to the Most Valuable Player Award, and you would think it would be that man, John Troxell. Perhaps the announcement of the MVP was made a bit too early. With 3 minutes left in the telecast, Kevin KANE and Laramie Furman were awarded as offensive and defensive most valuable players in the game, but of course that was before Price was injured and Troxell came in to be the star. Let's get back to Kerry.
Thank you very much, Tim. I'm with Coach Bob SHRIVER of Easton. And, Coach, there were a lot of turnovers in this game, and the deciding turnover came in the fourth quarter after you all got the interception, and then you fumbled it back.
Yeah, turnovers and specials hurt us today. There's no doubt about it. Our guys played a great ball game, and I think everybody that saw what Easton and Phillipsburg are about will understand why we're so proud of the game in our communities.
Talk about the final drive just a moment when Richie White went out and Troxell came in. What was going through your all's minds on this sideline?
That Troxell could scramble and run the ball, and we were concerned that we kept contain on him. And what can you say? The kid came off the bench cold without having taken a snap and took the team into the end zone. He did a great job.
What about the interference call that kept the drive alive?
Somebody else might have saw it better than I did. I didn't see any interference call, but that's the way it goes.
Okay, congratulations on a great game played, Coach SHRIVER, and I hope ESPN will be back next year for this great rivalry.
All right, Kerry, thank you, and thank you, Coach SHRIVER. Tells you something about the stock at both of these schools when a coach that just loses a heartbreaker like that has to talk about a bitter defeat, but he doesn't mind because he knows how great this rivalry is. For Tom Dominic, here's a guy that perhaps saw this game get away, and then just moments after he had lost his starting quarterback, got it back with a very big win, his 9th of the year.
I'm proud of you guys. Let's listen to Tom. That's what I say about a total team effort. You know, they had a couple good games. I think we played a really good game, except for a couple plays. We had a couple bad plays. I tell you, you can't take that away from them. They got some really big play people. I'll tell you, but like we said, when the time comes, I know who I want playing for me, guys. I got one guy's wearing a Gordon Gray, right?
Hi, Ma. Hi, Dad.
Tom Dominic, the head football coach, class of 1963, took the class of 1988 to an improbable victory because John Troxell came in at quarterback. First found DiGirolamo, a reserve halfback, open to keep the drive alive on 4th down. And then moments later, he rolled right with time ticking down. 20 seconds were left when he found Lou Moser, who dove into the end zone with a huge Thanksgiving Day turkey. A happy victory indeed for the Phillipsburg Stateliners over Easton, Pennsylvania. For Stan White and Kerry Ross, I'm Tim Brando, wishing each and every one of you a happy Thanksgiving Day lunch. More football coming up tonight from Texas and Texas A&M with Bob Carpenter and Kevin Kiley and Chris Fowler. So long, everyone.
Stadium and Prime Networks coverage of the Big 33, Pennsylvania versus Ohio football